organizers. I need some moral support and some ideas. I'm sitting here in Victor's, my favorite boulangerie, journaling and writing in preparation for this weekend's retreat. And I put together my entire curriculum, the Dreaming Out Loud steps, to figure out your 4 major life lessons that you're put here to get. And then using that new information to figure out your purpose and start strategizing about changes you want to make in your life, from love life to change of career to how to start working for yourself, how to get the love that you want. I think all of that stuff is mindset. And that in order to make change, you have to change what you believe you're capable of. All the classes and coaches in the world don't help if you really don't believe it's something you can do. The sun is kicking here in the middle of the winter. That's why I have this laying back against the glass in Victor's. So here's my struggle. We have the 5 American women who are here riding camels, getting massages, shopping in pottery stores, drinking tea served by baby brown Jesus. Okay, they're having a good time. I'm running around preparing for the retreat, getting ready to take a bus tomorrow morning early with my cat Aisha, who's totally like, screw that cat hospital situation. I'm not trying to be away from my mama and not have lattes and massages. So Aisha's coming with me in her carrier to Essaouira, the beach town 2 hours away from Marrakesh. And I'm going to do setup for the retreat at our Riyadh Benadar. Well, I put together my entire curriculum and neglected the fact that some of the Moroccan women who I really, really wanted to come, who run cooperatives, are from rural places and don't have computers, 1, or internet, 2, or don't read English, 1, got that, or don't read at all. Which means all my good lesson plans of people filling out workbooks and shit ain't gonna work. I came prepared to deal with the language barrier. We hired a translator. I did not come fully prepared to deal with folks having no literacy skills, which is no indication of intelligence because they're running their own businesses and making a living, something that most of my clients can't do in America. So I am stuck with how to figure out how to do these exercises, how to get people to sort of record their goals and their dreams and put together a master plan without the aid of writing materials. And it's all going to have to be done orally. So I'm kind of struggling with that. Just because I want this to be really special for my ladies. And this dawned on me a little bit earlier this week because in my travels, so I've been meeting the tour group in different cities. And then coming back to Marrakesh, my home base, to get work done. So I went to Chefchaouen. I met the tour group in Casablanca. Is that better? Can y'all see me now? I met the tour group in Casablanca, which is in the north of the country. It's a busing capital. Then we traveled by our private minibus, to Rabat to see the castle there, the Pirates Castle. Then we went to my favorite cooperative there, run by Zainab, and we bought out her entire store, which made me totally so happy. And she totally remembered me because I came. She makes all of her argan soaps and oils and mixes by hand, her and her mom in the kitchen. It's kind of like a little Moroccan Carol's daughter, the way it started out. And then from there, we took a long drive up into the mountains to Chefchaouen, the Blue City, which you guys have seen pictures of, which I've never visited and I always wanted to visit. And it was just like a miracle sanctuary of peace and joy. And we went shopping from an African man from the Sahara, who was like jet black and like King Solomon, and he had all these beautiful hand-woven robes, and Kia and Carmela and somebody else bought robes from him. They were gorgeous. So I encouraged everybody to buy things that they could only get there in Chefchaouen, in the north of the country. And then I left the group. They went on to go camping in the Sahara. They went to Fez. They went to see the pottery. They went to the leather works, all that jazz. I came back here to do more research, missed a couple of trains, planes, and automobiles. And in my travels, taking both the bus and then a train back to Marrakesh, I met so many women who engaged me in conversations about life, about Instagram. Everybody's into Instagram and they run their business on Instagram. And so many of the women who were like, oh yeah, I sell argan oil, oh I have this cooperative, oh yeah, I make this kind of fabric, I sell this, that I met on the train, who were from Casablanca, they really did not read that they ran businesses. Which is really interesting because we're trying to communicate over Google Translate, right? But in certain sections of the country while we're riding on the train, you can only do Google Translate if you type in the words. Well, if you don't read and write, you can't type in the words. You can only speak into a recording. So I came across this with older women here in Marrakesh who, Moroccans don't let a language be a barrier. Like the French will stop speaking to you if you can't speak each other's language. Moroccans don't. They'll just do sign language. They'll have entire conversations with you for 3 hours and not speak your language. They'll figure out a way to communicate. And so we're trying to use Google Translate and the recording option is not working. And I'm like, oh, type it in. And then I realized that they can't. And one woman actually tried and I was like, oh, she actually didn't write. But she has a full-time job. She got a business on the side. And I was like, wow, literacy is real. What's interesting to me is how these women still function, go shopping, got fabulous hijabs, which they take off when it gets hot on the train. I was like, okay, Miss Thing. We have crazy expectations about what's possible. It made me, I met women on the bus, and young women come up to me and start getting into conversations all the time. I met Wida, who's on Instagram with me, and she's fabulous. And she's like 16. Yes, lots to say, lots of opinions. Her mom, totally veiled, totally covered. She is in her skinny jeans and a t-shirt. Asking me about my head wrap. Just like really independent and forward thinking and not allowing language to be a barrier, and not being able to write proficiently, like basic language skills. Even in Arabic or Tamazight, which is a language that's not written very much, the indigenous people. It's the language of the Amazigh, the Western term Berber, which is offensive to some people. It's the colonizer called them Berbers. They're like the Native Americans, they're indigenous people of this land. And they are the ones that run cooperatives and make argan oil because they were the first here, so they know how to make everything, right? The rugs, the fabrics, the textiles, the jewelry, the argan oil, the black soap, all these things that are unique to Morocco, and that the international market gets those things from here, are made by these women and have been for thousands of years. So I get now why Instagram is the methodology for selling what you have. Some people are on Facebook, but most people are on Instagram. And I thought, oh, it's because the images and everything are so beautiful. Hello. People are staring at me being on Facebook Live. The images are so beautiful here in the cities and in the towns and rural areas. I thought, oh, okay, that's why everybody's on Instagram. It's not just that as opposed to Facebook. It's the language thing. People are oral, in their communication skills. So I'm struggling with how to mitigate that and still communicate the information that people are asking me about. And I had a sneaking suspicion, when I was here before. Well, not sneaking. A 6-year-old comes up to you and goes, yeah, me and my mom, we sell argan oil and we have an Instagram account just like you. What's your Instagram? I'm like, okay, you got business, right? You're like 6, right? And you got a phone with Instagram, right? Never mind, it's a family phone and everybody shares it. You're still selling your argan stuff on Instagram. So that was like, okay, that's sort of what's going on here, but then living here now and engaging with women, I'm learning how that spirit of independence, how deeply rooted it is, and also with trying to translate the information that I have for these women into an oral methodology that still works for them. Because, you know, we can all sit back and be extremely privileged, like you're like, well, they can take literacy courses, right. Moroccan women make $10 a day. That's feeding their kids. They can take literacy courses down the road. Right now they got to feed their children. Right? And they're doing it like 70% of the way. They just need a little bit more support. Exposure to social media and how to make that work for you. So I'm struggling with it. I'm going to let you know what happens, how it goes, but I am definitely struggling with, my gosh, how I'm going to take what's in these workbooks and make it into something oral that people can retain, right? So I think I'm going to begin with, I am a community organizer by training. So I think I'm actually, I've created surveys which people are going to answer questions orally so they get a chance to know people and what their lives look like. Day to day, I have a sense of it just from staying in people's homes and visiting them in the mountains. I have somewhat of a sense. What I don't have a sense of is how people learn and how people retain. And then I'm assuming that math must be easy for people. Lots of people who don't read well. Math's easy, right? So, and they must be doing something because they divide up the money, right? They're running a business. They're doing the calculations. And I've noticed that in every cooperative. A lot of them don't even have cash registers and stuff. Those ladies are doing that in their heads, cutting deals, packaging shit and giving you group rates, So, yeah. I've spent a lot of time in front of my computer today, sort of talking out loud about how to make this viable and really useful for the women and the American women. I sent them surveys. Y'all better send me, 2 people I sent me this kid to work. So sort of integrating both the American women's needs and the Moroccan women's needs, which are ultimately the same: independence, freedom, to work for yourself and not report to anybody, to change the way your life is structured, to create ease, to create more income, doing something you love. Everybody's goals are the same, so how we're going to get there. So that's what I'm struggling with today. I guess I was called upon to do this. I'm not doing it for the money, so wish me luck. If anybody has any experience teaching this way, or transferring written methodologies into completely oral methodologies while holding on to retention, I am all ears. All right, y'all. Love you. Mean it. Bye.